been trying to streamline some of my tasks at work. You know, the kind of boring stuff that makes you feel like a human robot. Moving info from your email to a database to a spreadsheet and back to your email. This is stuff that I would love to never do again. I kept hearing about these things called RPAs, or robotic process automations, which are supposed to solve all of my tedious task problems. I decided to give UiPath a try. It's one of the big names in RPA, but oh boy, was I in for a surprise. Let me tell you, it was not the smooth sailing that I was expecting. I mean, just look at that interface. All of these flowcharts and triggers, and is that code? I thought this was supposed to make things easier, not give me a crash course in programming. But here's the thing, just when I was about to give up, I discovered a simple browser extension that may just be the game changer I was looking for. So stick around because I'm gonna show you how this little discovery might just save us all from drowning in a sea of complex automations. Okay, so I am trying to pull some data from my work email platform, which is MailChimp, into a submission form so that the central communications office can review all of the communications we send out. I'm in UiPath right now, and I was worried that I would have to build a template completely from scratch, but I am seeing that they have some extraction forms like ready to go in their template, so I'm gonna go ahead and try one of those. It is for sales opportunities, but you know, hopefully it'll work for my purposes. Oh, something went wrong. Well, that's a bad start. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, here we go. This should work now. So use template. Okay, so getting in here, I'm seeing a pretty familiar like flowchart style interface that I've honestly seen in a lot of automations platforms before. I guess each of these boxes is an action, but why are there so many? Okay, so here's the email that I need to pull into this form. So according to this template, I should be able to drop my URL into there and it can help me do what I need it to do. Okay, so I clicked this button and then this like UI recorder thing popped up. What do I need to do here? Do I need to select items? Oh, I think I found it, actually. Oh no, it's not a valid. Okay, let me try something else. This indicated target is not a valid UI element from select item. But I need to select the item to put it into the form, so I don't understand why it's like not letting me select the item. It seems to know, if I put the URL in here, it seems to know that I want to pull information from that tab, but it's not letting me actually tell it what information I want it to pull. So I can't even get the information into UiPath, let alone into the form I need. Cancel. Okay, there it goes. And now I need to choose a value, but there are simply no values. I don't really want to go further on trying to give it access because it doesn't really need access to my whole MailChimp account. It just needs access to some of the fields that are printed on that additional tab I have open. And I think further down it says that it can route all of this into a spreadsheet or to an email, which would be nice, but the more I scroll down, the more I'm seeing examples of code to make it do the proper attachment. And I was just trying to get one thing from one tab into another tab, and this is just too complicated for me. I also just don't know how to handle all of these variables that are on the page. It just feels like so much information that I have to give it for some reason to do a really simple action. This is actually my second time trying this with UiPath, and every time I get in here, I just have a hard time getting my bearings. Even if I got this working, I feel like I would spend most of my time tinkering with the interface in a way that would just not really be productive. The point is to make this fast, simple, and easy, and I'm not really getting this from what I see on the screen right now. So I'm gonna come at this problem from a totally different direction. Instead of getting some complex RPA software going or learning some bulky automation tool like Zapier, I am going to give it a shot with Magical AI. Magical is a Chrome extension that actually lives in your browser. So if I click on my little M button up here, you can see that this pop-up immediately pops up with options that I can use to hopefully transfer my data from one tab into the form in the other. And even when I exit it out, it just sits here next to my workflow with this tiny little M that I can just click on and expand anytime I want to do this action. Super handy. Okay, so let's try to create a new automation here so that I can get this into the form and then it can be just one click every single time I need to do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and label the items on the form that I need to be labeled. So machine name is fine, that's good up there. Recipients, this is just wrong. Save. URL is fine. Okay, and then I want sender name here, sender name, so that we can see who sent it. I need the sender email so that we know what email it came from. So I'm gonna create that label as well. And then subject line for sure. And we need some recipients. All of my things appear in this nice little row here. So let's click done. Okay, now that we've done all of that labeling, we should be able to just come in here and create an automation. So I'm gonna click on this, click create new automation, and it leads me into Magical's automation builder. And right away, I just see one action to complete, which is fill a form. So I need to select the site that I want to fill, and I'm filling out a Google form. So I'm gonna click Google. And then it says specify a tab with form fields. So I'm gonna select the tab I want, email campaigns. And then it gives me all of those fields that are actually in the email campaign form back in the Google tab. So I'm gonna select date and time needs to fill with info from a site, which is MailChimp. And if I'm scrolling through MailChimp, I see all of these in this like bundle here. I see all of the ones that I just labeled. So I'm gonna click date and time, and then I just have to do this for every single one. Notice how it's not making me log into anything, which I love. It's just directly using the tabs I have open to capture the data. MailChimp to Google Forms. There we go. Save. And then let's go back into the form tab, open Magical, and our automation appears right there, MailChimp to Google Forms. Let's click. And then I can click the tab I want to pull it from, and it's running. And success! Oh my gosh, that was so easy. I have everything I need right in this form. And then I can just click submit. And it will send it as needed to my superiors. And then I look really good, which is great. Okay, now that we've set all that up, I should be able to open another MailChimp email in another tab and just have it do the same exact thing. So let me do that now. Okay, so I have this email opened in my new tab. I'm gonna come back into the form, click on Magical, run my automation, MailChimp to Google Forms. I'm gonna click the show email tab because that's the one I want. And it's running. And just like magic, again, I have the fields filled with exactly what I need them filled with. Submit. I had no idea that data entry could be that simple, but I'm so glad it is. It is gonna save me a lot of time. Okay, on the one hand, we have UiPath, powerful but complex. It requires a steep learning curve, potentially some coding knowledge, and a lot of setup. On the other hand, we have Magical AI, a simple browser extension that works right where you are, no additional software needed. It's intuitive, fast, and doesn't require you to share login credentials for every account you have. Look, I'm not saying that RPAs like UiPath don't have their place. For large-scale, complex automations across multiple systems, they might be the way to go. But for many of us who just want to simplify our tasks without becoming part-time programmers, Magical AI can be a game changer. If you want to give Magical AI a look for yourself, make sure you hit the link in the description box below. It's totally free to get started, and it will save you a ton of time. Also, let me know your experiences with Magical AI or other automation tools in the comments. I'd love to chat about it down there, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.